Tango Mike, how we doing, buddy? I'm just sending a message out on Discord now, folks. Apologies. I was thinking of you, promise. That's better. I thought it looked a bit small. Okay, cool. So, Bitcoin actually flashed a buy signal today. That's not a bad start. We're also creeping away from this 19.7 line, which is also good. So that is good news. Good weekend? Yeah, not bad, not bad. I've had a nice kind of quiet-ish weekend, just doing some bits and pieces really that needed to be done. Yeah, all right. You know, we survived the red crash for now. We're bouncing back up, which is nice to see. Yeah, the hourly looks okay. The market's opening tomorrow is what we really need to see. We need to know what's going to happen when the market's open tomorrow, but it's good to see this. USDC is still bouncing around, so let's go and have a look at USDC. Mark, Tango, Eric, all welcome, buddies. Stevie, how are we doing? Another big institution going under. Let's get this, SJ from Torres. Yeah. So USDC still at 96 cents. It did do quite well to get back up. It was up at 98, nearly 99, I think. It did. But as I said yesterday, I think what's happened is we've seen people playing the futures game, which has kind of devalued it. So that's not bad. Oi, Tom, how are you doing? Good to see you, Mr. Matthews. I hope you're very, very well. I hope you're very well indeed, sir. But yeah, I mean, this is positive. You know, we've had Silvergate, which is a massive crash, but actually, it probably did less damage than FTX did. We're of course going to see some fallout. We don't know the extent of what Silvergate were involved in, which crypto companies were involved with them. Not just stablecoins, there'll be other investments as well. They are a very, very large bank, Silicon Valley Bank. Monday's going to be interesting. It is. Monday's going to be quite scary. I'm quite surprised that people are going hard tonight, for want of a better word. But, you know, we're seeing it here. You know, we've had a couple of buy signals flash on what I use. And, you know, that's not a bad thing. The RSI is resetting now, which could see us come back down to about 20.4, maybe even 20.2. But then the 1 hourly stochastic RSI would have reset, and we'll have to see what happens then. But yeah, interesting times. I mean, the 4 hour chart actually looks pretty good. Yeah, we're going sideways at the top of the stochastic RSI. So again, probably due a little bit of a reset. It'll probably come back down a little bit. But again, we're well away now from that 19.7K that I was worried about. We did bounce off that support line, which is great to see. Let's see tomorrow who's got commitments in these banks. Well, this is it. We will... Yeah, it was all released on Friday when we couldn't do anything about it. And now we're going to start finding out who is in real trouble with these banks. USDC, we know, is. USDT, I can't believe USDT isn't being affected by Silvergate. They have no exposure, apparently. Neither do BUSD. But BUSD is still experiencing another run because, of course, it's Binance and the US are really going after Binance. Thoughts on Fetch AI? Has the hype gone or is it another leg up? I think Fetch AI is decent long term. I think it's important to remember that word long term. We are going to see very, very good projects that have great utility that were part of the narratives recently. They're going to go up and down with the market, but I think there is a very strong narrative with Fetch AI. It's a good project as well. So, yeah, market cap's 266 million, fully diluted 375. Just looking at the chart here. What we had over the last 3 months. We had that enormous run up from under 10 cents all the way up to 60 cents, so it's 6x, and we're currently retraced halfway down to 33 cents. So I still think there's some hype to wear off, but I mean, I certainly like the use case of Fetch AI. I don't personally hold any. I already hold 40 different projects, and I actually need to get rid of some, not buy more. But Fetch AI, I do believe, has got decent long-term potential. So it depends how you want to trade it. I mean, I like it, but I'm not buying it. Only the brave stay in crypto. We all deserve the riches that are coming our way. Absolutely, Stevie. And I think this is really important to remember as well. I mean, I've been saying this all along through every crash. What we need to do, we got to remember where we are. So if we come onto the Bitcoin chart, this looks scary as hell. We've had a couple of big legs down, but let's just zoom out. Let's go back to the weekly and actually say to ourselves, we were down at 15.6. That is possibly the bottom. We've had a black swan event in Silvergate that has not taken us down below 19. If it did, we would probably be seeing 17, maybe even 16 and a half. But at the moment, we haven't, and we're actually bouncing back up on the daily. So for me, I think this is actually looking really, really positive. Overall, Bitcoin is surviving and the market is rallying with it. The issues that we saw with stablecoins as well. Now that is really interesting, because the issue we've seen with Silvergate is that no one trusts stablecoins, and instead of cashing out entirely, they've actually bought up the market. So they've actually invested in the altcoins that they like, rather than cashing out of crypto altogether. And this is where we've seen this recovery. So this is where everyone really panicked and everyone was selling positions. But then people have looked at it seriously and thought, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to hold stable coins that I don't trust? I don't trust any of them. Or am I going to buy my altcoins? Am I going to buy my Bitcoin, my Ethereum? And they did. We've seen a really good rally. Now that is kind of counterintuitive, but that's what crypto and general investment does. It's quite counterintuitive. But if you sit back and think of it, I'm not going to cash out of crypto, but also I don't want to hold stable coins. So buying the crypto assets that you want to hold long term now, or even just buying fairly stagnant things like XLM that don't have much volatility, that's a better option for some than cashing out. Apparently 200 UK companies can make payroll due to their... Oh dear. 200 companies can't make payroll due to SVB. That's a big number. If bank stocks sell off again, could see a sell off across the board. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's scary stuff when it's the second biggest bank collapse in US history. That's a big statement right there. So tomorrow we can go down more. Yeah, I believe so. We probably, we need to see how the markets are going to react. I think this is the crypto industry's reaction. We kind of like said, okay, well, I've got choices. I can panic and sell everything, which I don't really want to do, or I can, I don't want to hold stable coins either. So what am I going to do? Am I going to cash out, which I don't really want to do, or am I just going to buy the altcoins that I like, or Bitcoin or Ethereum? And they've clearly invested in the market. Bitcoin's recovered quite nicely. So, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what the market does tomorrow. But generally, it looks like retail are saying, I'm just going to buy what I want. I'm going to buy it now. Did Elon say he might bail out the bank? I don't know. I hope he did. You'll have 50 by next month, don't do you know what? I might, because I'm about to start researching again as well. So I'm going to try and find some new little gems to see what we can hold in as well. So I'm going to see what's happening there. Miss Patriot, welcome. Thank you for joining the live. I hope you're very, very well. Phil, Governor, how are we doing? Happy Sunday to you, sir, indeed. UK SVB, big issues. Yes, absolutely. It's global. It is worldwide. This is the second biggest US bank collapse in in history. So this is going to have a lot of implications. As I said, this initial reaction here, this is the crypto retail market's reaction. I don't think, I can't imagine institutional reaction will be the same. I think we could be coming down. I am a little bit bearish with this scenario, I cannot deny. And zooming out to the daily chart, I think, as I said, we bounced off this 19.7. At best, we retest that tomorrow, I believe. And we might even test the 19k. If we lose 19k, I honestly believe we're testing 17. And then who knows? But right now, we've had a positive response from the retail. It's just waiting to see what the institutional money does. Thank you for the gifts, Barry Doge. Appreciate that, buddy. Gelatinous Cube, buddy. How we doing? Asia market will tell by late tonight. Yeah, this is true. Asia will open soon. No reason why Elon's saving that bank. He doesn't need to. This is probably very true. I don't know how much he... It depends as well, doesn't it? Where's his Tesla money at? Where's his Doge money at? Wherever he leaves that money, that's the bank he'll protect. What's the feeling with crypto market? Will it recover or looking down a bit more? It looks like retail, as I said, are trying to sort of keep the market going. We've recovered. We're actually quite bullish, and instead of cashing out, we've converted stable coins into assets by the look of it. So we're holding Bitcoin, we're holding other alts, and hence the run we're seeing at the moment. The DXY is down as well, hence another reason for the rally. But you know, the US dollar being down is part of it. But you know, we need to see what happens when the market's open. No one can really tell what's going to happen. I've heard Tesla isn't in SVB, but haven't looked into it. I think it's an interesting thought, because if Elon was if Tesla's money was in SVB, how substantial would it be? Would he save it or would he let it go? I don't know. Would he focus on Twitter, which he already owned? You know, it's a good question. What would he do? Thank you for the red nose, Lisa. I appreciate that support. Thank you very, very much. Rumor has it that XRP had money in that bank. I suspect there's a lot of crypto firms that had money in that bank. You know, a lot of it is capital reserves. A lot of it is just general. You know, they were the crypto bank, so there's going to be a lot of projects with their money in SVB. So Silvergate is going to be wide-reaching, no doubt about it. Tango Mike, thank you for the share, buddy. I appreciate you being there and doing that for me. If we can continue to smash the likes, people, get some more people in here. You know, 44 on a Sunday evening is pretty good, but we can do better. We've done better historically. We can do this. So yeah, as I said, you know, at the moment, retail really looks like it's responded really positively, to be fair. You know, I know I bought a few items in the dip. People were saying don't, but like I'm buying things that I'm holding long term. I know we could see a much bigger dip. But I don't believe I'll be a bag holder of what I'm buying. Why is it doing that? What noise is that? Oh, that's the gifting noise. I've got a funny noise coming out for the gifting, and I haven't got the mic down again. Hello, hello, hello. The mic is back. I do apologise. If the sound's not been that good, it's because the mic's been up in the air. Thank you for the gift, Phil. I do appreciate the hat, buddy. Thank you very much. You don't have to gift people, but if you do decide to gift, I really appreciate that support. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for the share, Gelatinous Cube. Appreciate that, buddy. So let's have a look. A lot of companies will have exposure with all these banks for sure. Yellen says no bailout. I mean, if there is no bailout, it's going to be worse than 2008. 2008, the banks got bailed out. Everyone was disgusted. But no bailout would not surprise me. I don't think the governments in the US or the UK are in a position to bail out a big bank. I think COVID had us on our knees. Recessions had us on our knees. And I don't think we can support big bank failures. I think big banks will now be allowed to go under, which is not good, but kind of is, because it might actually teach them to be more responsible. Thank you for the gifts, people. I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's very, very kind. But right, I mean, as I said, it does. This is the 4-hour chart on Bitcoin. You can see just how well we've responded. As I said, and I said it in the Discord before. I've drawn a lot of lines on my chart, but they're lines that I think are viable. They've been right-ish before, and I was saying here when we were going upwards from this dip. If we continue to consolidate, we could bounce up, and unless there was a black swan event, I thought we would, and we've had a black swan event and we've come down. I also said that we would probably test this 19.7 level. We did, and we come back up, which is great. And we're just about to go back above this long-term support level. So if we can consolidate back above here, if the markets don't trash us on Monday, or if Asia doesn't open and trash us, we may well just start consolidating above this long-term support line here. So that would actually be really, really good. And the stochastic RSI is very, very high, so we may not make it. We might retrace, somewhere down towards 20.1 even, maybe, before we reset that stochastic RSI on the 4-hourly. But we would need to see what happens there. Sunak's already said no bailout as well. I don't think the governments have got the money in the pot. The UK government has suspended the northern section of HS2 as well. So, we are not in a position to subsidise private enterprise right now. It's not happening. Well, there's a term. Economic stimulus is not going to happen. We can't afford it. So HS2 has been recalled. We're not going to be able to afford to bail out a massive bank. That was 2008, and it nearly finished off the recession. So I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, we shouldn't be bailing out private enterprise. I know it saves a lot of people a lot of harm, but we shouldn't. We've got to remember these banks are private enterprises. They should be run like any other business, and if they fail, they fail. It's not great, and I don't like it when we bail these companies out. Core Apes, how we doing, Phil, buddy? How we doing? We were already getting the apes in the house. How we doing, buddy? So yeah, just saying, retailers have really done a good job over the weekend. We've bounced back up from what I thought would be the bottom, or hope would be the bottom. Crypto Sport, thank you for the follow, buddy. I do appreciate that. Thank you very, very much indeed. So I think overall, depending on what happens in Asia tonight and what happens in when the markets open tomorrow, I mean, I'm really hoping we can consolidate above this level of 20.6. If we do, that's a decent little long-term support line that we've got. And we might just bounce. But like I said, at the moment on the 4-hourly, the stochastic RSI is quite high. So I would expect a pullback before that happened if it did. Crypto with Leo. Let's go, brother. How we doing? It's the Core Ape man himself. I hope you're doing really well, buddy. Go crazy, Leo. Absolutely. I haven't checked in today. I've actually had a really busy family day today, so I haven't been in the Discord, which is very, 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 very rare for me. So I hope everything's going really, really well there. I hope the guys in the Discord are still absolutely smashing it. It's a great place to be. The Fed should take note that interest rate rises are causing these issues. They are contributory, but the overall macroeconomic reasons are there for all to see. Thank you for the further gifts, people. I do appreciate that. Family first, bro. Apes will be waiting. Absolutely, Leo. And I know you appreciate that, bro. I mean, I know you've obviously you took some time out for personal reasons as well. Family, no doubt is more important than anything in this world. But yeah, absolutely. The weekends for me, I just chilled this weekend. I genuinely did. I didn't do an awful lot. I didn't do any research, in fact. I kind of just kept an eye on the market, kind of popped into the Discord every now and again. By the way, my Discord, if everyone's in here now and following me, my Discord, completely free. We've got a great community in there, and it's just buzzing over nicely now. It's ticking. Everyone's helping each other. I really love that Discord that we've created in there. It's a great community. Give me an OG. D2023. Get to the back of the line for that. Another OG. That stuff's mine. I'm having an OG. XRP still dumping or not? That's a really good question. Let's check in with XRP. Guys, if you want to start actually looking at some projects and getting some updates, let's go into it. Let's go and have a look at XRP. So XRP still below 36 cents. It has taken a bit of a nosedive. This is the 4-hour chart. I do like the 4-hour chart. I'm not a day trader. I like long-term entry points. I actually prefer to look at the daily or the weekly for my entry points. But if I'm DCAing, as long as it's red, like this generally is, I'll DCA. But I don't DCA into XRP anymore. As I've been honest about that all along. I hold a bag of XRP and I'm not adding to it. Unless we see some silly prices for XRP. Quorum, Sologenic on the other hand, different story. I might be buying a bit more of that. Airdrop pending. Thank you for the peace sign, Phil. Appreciate that, bro. Thoughts on Quant? I absolutely love Quant. I am a big believer on the long-term potential of Quant. As we can see here as well, we got down below $110. It's already back above $120, so it's up 8 or 9% in the since the dip, which is absolutely fantastic. The stochastic RSI is pretty much maxed out, but it's still turned upwards. So there's still some good buying volume coming through. And it's actually just turned as a buy on my marker, so that's not bad at all. Let's zoom out to the daily, see what's happening on the daily. Stochastic RSI still got some upward momentum, and we're still well below the average within the Bollinger Bands. Now, if you know what Bollinger Bands are and you like them, I really like it because it's very pictorial. If you can tell what a picture is, then you can do Bollinger Bands. So basically, if you're nice and low in the channel, there's a potential for it to blow up. Obviously, we're nice and low. We're not at the bottom of the channel, so it could come back down. But as long as you're below that EMA, when this narrows, when there's a pinch in the Bollinger Bands, it generally means that there's going to be a move. And as long as you're below the EMA, generally, not always, but generally, it's a move to the upside. If the candles are above the EMA, this orange line,
generally means it could be a move to the downside. I like the Bollinger Bands for that reason, because when you combine that simplicity with the stochastic RSI being overbought or oversold, it's a really, really good tell. As a long-term investor, I don't really care as long as the price is reasonable. When I DCA, I'll buy it. Generally, I hope it's in the red when I buy. But as I said, on the daily at the moment, we're nice and low in the channel. The stochastic RSI is still on the way up. So I don't think, on the longer time frames, quant is coming down. It could have a little bit of a reset on the shorter time frames for sure. But generally, long-term hold, I think if I was going to DCA now, I would be happily buying quant. Crush incoming. Thoughts on Rose? Rose, let's have a look at Rose. Rose, if I remember rightly, is the ticker for Oasis. So Oasis is one that I'm not overly familiar with. I do not hold it. It's currently trading at 5 cents, market cap 292, fully diluted 510. So just over 50% here, as you can see, 57% in circulating supply. It's had a pretty good day, to be fair. So have a look. So over the 7 days, it has suffered with the rest of the market. Over 3 months, we saw a low down here of around about 3.5 cents, just under. And we saw it go up to 8. So it did about a 2.5x, nearly a 3x really. And it has come back down to 5.2 cents. So, I do like it. From what I do know, very superficially, Oasis Rose Network does seem to have decent utility. It's not overly marketed. The market cap isn't too bad. There was a lot of marketing during the bull run on Oasis Network, so that's why I've stayed away a little bit. But you can see here, it's next generation foundation for Web3, and it'll power DeFi, GameFi, NFTs, Metaverse, data tokenization, and data DAOs. That's a lot of use cases in one network. I do worry when I see that. I would rather have a network that actually specializes in something, because they're going to try and take on every single specialized layer one that does all of this. And that's difficult. But, it is popular. It is liked. And I don't know the deep research of it. I don't know the partners and what they're doing. If they can achieve all of that, then it could be very, very good indeed. But at the moment, certainly long term, if we look at the all-time chart, we can still see here we're nowhere near the all-time high. These peaks and troughs that we're seeing at the moment seem very, very large. Runs up of 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% or more seem massive, but they're really not. If you zoom out, we've got so much more to come back up. We're still in the bear market. We've just rallied. And of course, macroeconomics and things mean, they take control. Do I think HBAR will recover in the long run after the hack and loads of coins coming on? HBAR for me has always been a proper utility token, a very solid play. The fact that it had to take the network down to deal with the issue is encouraging, that they had that control and the ability to make decisions to do that. But it's also very worrying that they actually had to take the network down to solve the problem. Whenever that happens, it's really, really nerve-wracking. Now, for me, HBAR, as I said, great utility, great partners, great team behind the project, and obviously you've got huge companies running HBAR as part of their kind of governing board. But ultimately, at the end of the day, they've suffered an exploit. Now, that's not going to kill HBAR, but as long as they fix the problem. If they don't fix the problem, like Solana don't fix their problems, I think that's when I worry. So it depends if it's a recurring issue or not. It could just be a one-off. And these exploits happen. The longer these technologies are around, someone will find a way to exploit it. It's just what happens. So we're just trying to stay one step ahead of the people that hack and exploit these things. Have you bought eGold yet? It's going to go off next bull run. I haven't, no. It's not really one that I favor in terms of my personal investment. I do have other things that I like. But let's have a look at the performance of eGold, because that's what used to be Algorand, now Metaverse or something. Let's have a look. So let's do the Binance pairing. So on the daily here, you can see that it is actually very, very low. It has been down to $32. We're currently around about 39. But I mean, when you check out the all-time highs, Let's go. You've got to go back quite a way. Look at this. I mean, this chart in the bull run just keeps going up. It peaked at around about $544. So there is very, very good potential. What I would say is that was the run in November, December, which is actually what I like to see in the bull run. If it, one of the last ones tend to run hardest, and that was a massive, massive run at the end of the bull run. But then that would also signify that a lot of people took profit. So it could have been an end of bull run liquidity grab. But ultimately, it's a decent project with a lot of support. So the price looks decent long term if you're looking long term. And of course, the stochastic RSI on the daily time frame very, very low. So it could have a very strong run up. And we can see here regularly, it very regularly bottoms out, turns upwards. And it's not very often it turns upward and doesn't have a decent run. Check out the history on the stochastic RSI. It bottoms out, it goes up. It bottoms out, it goes up. It bottoms out, it goes up at least halfway. So it's not very often, like here, where it'll turn upwards and then stop. It tends to keep going. So it should run up to at least around about 50 on the stochastic RSI. And it is turned upwards. So I would expect this to possibly go soon on a little run. Market conditions allowing. Of course, we've got a black swan event to deal with. We don't know what the fallout from that is going to be. But just like the rest of the market, they are picking up. The daily is improving. It's on the upward trend. Depending on what happens on Asia this evening and on Monday when the markets open in the UK and US, this could be about to go on a run. TAP is mooning at the moment. Let's check in on TAP. TAP is up 24%, which is great to see, although I've sold it, so I don't really care anymore. It was horrific. I sold that just over a week ago, I think, just before it went down horrendously. But it's good to see that it has recovered 24%. Deep Brain Chain as well, back up 14%. And a few of my other favourites in here also doing quite well today. And actually the last hour, 15-minute and 5-minute charts are all looking green. So we're actually looking quite positive. Now, is this a run up to China, to the Asia markets opening, or are they open yet? I don't know. What time is it? 8:30 GMT. So it might well be that it's just getting ready for it. 50 Cow, how are we doing, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you for joining me. Have I reached the 21k likes that I wanted for the week? Do you know what? Actually, funny enough, 21k, I am 74 followers away from the 21k. Because what I was actually after, I was after 21,000 followers. I want to get that up. We have done well. We've added a few, but it's going to take some work, I think, in a bear market to get the numbers up quickly. So we're doing well, but if you carry on smashing those likes, people will come. People will come. 50 Cow, you carry on working, buddy. Not a problem. It's just a pleasure to have you here as always. I'm really, really pleased to have your support always. Let's have a look. Let's go see some more. So speaking of TAP, let's go and have a look at the TAP chart actually, just out of interest. Let's see how it has performed in recent days. See, that's just plain nasty. I was hoping TAP would really. I mean, TAP came down to 0.5 cent. And I think I sold probably somewhere up here around about just over 1 cent. So I could have doubled my bag if I'd bought back in, but I think I've got time with TAP, but who knows? The stochastic RSI is still actually very, very low on the daily. So this could continue up to the top of the channel. We could see a rise to 1.2, 1.3 even. But we'll have to see. And the flag hasn't changed to a buy signal yet on the daily. But it has on the 4-hourly, which is very, very interesting. And this is exactly what I was saying. See about the Bollinger Bands right here on the 4-hourly? So we were below the EMA. The bands have squeezed in. The stochastic RSI was on the way up, but not high. And bang, we've gone. Perfect example of Bollinger Bands. Where's another example? So this is a bit different. This is market dip. Where's another good example? So there's another good example there. See, we're below it. We squeezed. Stochastic RSI is on the way up, but not high, and bang, we went up. So yeah, it's the Bollinger Bands. Like I said, they're a pretty good indication. It's not a guarantee, but it's pretty good. How did I get the 5-minute time frame? So the time frames are just up here, so I can get the 5-minute on. We're on the 5-minute charts now. I don't day trade, so I really don't look at the 5-minute very often unless we have like real action. So it's like with TAP at the moment. We are having some buy action. So you can see on here we have got some pretty big buy spikes. So we did spike up to nearly a whole cent again. We've retraced back down and we've bounced off that EMA. So that's not a bad place to be. But you can, as I said, the 5-minute chart, we squeezed, we travelled up the channel on the 5-minute. And actually we've gone up here, so this is just buy pressure now. These charts are only good as an indicator, and this is what I said, it doesn't always read like you think it will, because we had a little bit of a squeeze there towards the end maybe, and then it's gone up anyway, and that was even with this high stochastic RSI. Thank you for the follow. I do appreciate that very, very much. Thank you, people. If you all want to smash the likes and follow, really, really helps me. What do I think about Ripple's exposure to SVB? I don't know exactly what their exposure is, but there's going to be a lot of cryptos with a lot of exposure to SVB. They were the crypto-friendly bank, and yeah, it's going to be hard. There's going to be a lot of information to come out, and if we go to Bitcoin, as I said, retail's reaction over the weekend has actually been really, really good. We don't want to cash out of crypto, but also we don't trust stablecoins. So what have we done? We've bought Bitcoin, we've bought altcoins, and that's sent the market upwards. We're looking really strong. We're up to 21.2. So we're actually continuing upwards in this last few hours. Now, obviously, when Asia opens, we'll have to see what happens then. And then when the UK and US open tomorrow, we'll have to see what happens then. I think how the markets react will be different to how retail reacts. We are very reactional. And we kind of like panicked and said, we don't know what to do. What can we do? So we've invested in Bitcoin. We've possibly bought a lot of things like XLM that are not very volatile. We've gone into sort of things that are almost stable coins. So XRP might have been a choice for some, although that's down. Dunk to 16k soon. We absolutely could. Absolutely. If we lose this 19.7 level, let's just zoom back out to the daily. So if we lose this 19.7 level, we've got about 19.7, and then we've got 19, and I think, yeah, down to 17. And if we lose 17, we are on our way down to possibly 16. 16 is like really down, right down here. I sort of placed my line more up here at the bottom of some of these more recent candles and this recent channel. So I'm thinking 16.3, 16.4 could be my next real test at the bottom. 15.6, of course, is one that we've tested before and bounced off a couple of times. But I'm really hoping we don't go down that low. But it really does depend what the fallout is from Silvergate over the next few days and weeks. But as I said, retail's actually created a very positive response in the market. So we've got some green going on right now, which is excellent. 5-minute and bubbles. Oh, okay, yeah. So the bubbles, basically, if you just go to create a new one, it'll say what period you want, how you want it to perform, and sort of performance, whether it's neutral and things in color. It does all that for you. So it literally does do all that for you. I just need to delete that now because I created what I don't want. So there we go. So yeah, I mean, you can. This crypto bubbles is a great chart, and I do like it. I don't know why I haven't had it before. These aren't just my favorite. Some of my favorites. These are your favorites. So if we're ever on the bubble chart and you want to see one of your favorites on there, shout it out in the comments. I will get it added. This is things that other people have shouted out and things that we've all been invested in. So FET I don't hold, Matic I don't hold, Band I don't hold, Ajax I don't hold, QuantStamp QuantStamp I need to buy. I need to get myself into some security plays. QuantStamp and Lossless are probably my two favourites in that area at the moment. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here that I don't muck around with, but other people do. This is your bubble chart. Sorry about that, folks. I'm just catching up with the questions again. Longs are about to be terminated, quite possibly. Bricks and Slides, how are we doing, buddy? The bull run is going to start by May. That's really bullish. But ultimately, if we have an absolute bloodbath of a March, might not be far off. We could be on a slow ascent after that. Where are we in the world? I am in the UK. So I work on GMT. It's not on for May. We're gonna have a when's the bull run starting comment. I think this could be the last Black Swan event we're waiting for. It is probably one of the worst outcomes we could have hoped for. It's depegged quite a few of the stable coins. There's going to be a lot of projects with money tied up in SVB. So I think the fallout from this will create possibly the bottom of the bear market if we haven't already seen it. But bearing in mind the bottom of the bear market is 15.6, we could go down lower, but we've still actually got a little way to go to get down there. And as the announcement of Silvergate has already been made, and we bounced back up to 21, we've got to lose 30%, 35% to get down to 15k. That would be a pretty big drop considering how we've reacted already. But it's dependent upon obviously what fallout comes out from Silvergate. We don't know how bad it is yet. We've seen the tip of the iceberg, I'm sure. Eric loves making bets on when the bull run starts and how much XRP is going to get. I think we've got a gambling man. USDC 1000x long when it fell to 90 cents. Yeah, I mean, anyone that was longing USDC when it got down to 88, 90 cents, fair play to you. I know some people that were saying that they were going to short USDC just for a joke, because let's face it, it's not exactly going to create you super losses. But if you short it and it makes a loss, then you're making some money. So they probably shorted it and longed it and made an absolute fortune. Why is it mostly green? Because people are reluctant to leave crypto, but they don't trust stablecoins. So what do? They buy crypto. Whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, or altcoins, people don't want to hold stablecoins because they're scared of stablecoins, but what they're not scared of is their favorite altcoins. So people are retreating to altcoins. That's why we're seeing some green. We're also seeing, obviously, the dollar take a dive because Silvergate going down is the second biggest bank collapse in US history. So, it's going to weaken the dollar, which means that crypto will go green. But, crypto's going to suffer with this as well because they were the crypto-friendly bank. Silicon Valley Bank were huge. Can I add BACS and labs to the bubbles? I can if they're in the top 1,000. Let's go. BAX. Is BAX BAB? Okay, done. And what was the other one? Labs. Morpheus. Let's go. There we go. In and done. Winnie, you're absolutely welcome. ISO implementation starts March 20th. I personally think, and I've been saying it for a while, I'm saying ISO is a buy the rumor, sell the news event. I've been saying it for quite a while. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you very, very much indeed for the support. Keep tapping the likes, hitting the follows, people. I really appreciate that support. ISO will have coins that do well from it. I don't think people should be expecting these massive exponential runs that we sometimes see. It's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event, and I think we're about to see the news when it actually goes live and people will sell off. But there will be some projects that do hold value. So things maybe that are seeing adoption like XLM in the real world, they could do quite well. XDC, we're all speculating that is very, very corporate and open to adoption for sure. I'm sure you're the guy that said Gala would 100x next bull run. I'm not. Yeah, Gala for me personally, I don't like because of the tokenomics. But actually, fundamentally, it's a very, very good project. And I know you're not talking to me, but I'm going to comment on it anyway. Gala is a decent sized project. Personally, I don't think it will 100x, but it is not to be underestimated. Crypto isn't necessarily about what is the best investment. I mean, look at Shiba and look at Doge. Look at the size of those. Gala has got good utility. It is the biggest gaming platform in crypto, and they're adding movies and music as well, I believe. So we know that they've been a lot higher. It's currently valued at $227 million. Fully diluted is $1.1 billion. It's only 3.2 cents. All-time high, 75 cents. I mean, that is a 20x in the bull run right there. So will it do that again? I don't know. If it doesn't and it gets halfway, it's still, I don't know, 15x-ish. But I think Gala will, if they're successful and survive this bear market, which I hope they do, they're a sizable project and a good project that are up and running and being used, I would hope that they do see significantly more upside. I just don't know. I don't like the tokenomics. 20% circulating supply is not good for me because it will get diluted as it gets older. Do I think the market will drop tomorrow when it opens? I honestly do not know. We haven't seen the markets react. We are seeing retail actually react very, very strongly. Now, Asia opens fairly soon if it hasn't already. I'm not sure what time Asia does open. But ultimately, retail have really responded positively in terms of, I don't think people want to leave crypto, but they don't trust stablecoins. So what they're doing, they're buying Bitcoin, they're buying ETH, they're buying their favorite altcoins. And that's pushing the market up. Now, will that happen with corporate investors? I don't think so. I think they'll react differently. I think a lot of them will cut their losses because they can do things like tax write-offs. They'll want to pull out any risk that they can because Silvergate collapsing is massive. And although it might not affect them, the bank that they do use might affect them if that goes under. These things, we've seen it with exchanges, how inbred they are, how intertwined the relationships are. Banking's no different. They sell bonds, they sell debts to each other. We saw it in the housing thing in the US with mortgages being sold, subprime mortgages. There's going to be subprime crypto businesses being traded for sure. And there's going to be a lot of fallout from this. So I really don't know. I hope it's a positive reaction, but I'm reluctant to believe it can be. Hey Ian, how are we doing, buddy? Good to see you. Just joined. Am I thinking a bit more of a drop? I think when markets open, we probably will see a drop. This is the tip of the iceberg. Retail's acted very positively in buying more crypto, but I think that's a panic reaction. We may well see a pullback as the markets start to open. Just catching up on the questions now, people. Do apologise. My thoughts on XMR. XMR, is that Monero? I can't remember the ticker. XMR. So Monero is the leading privacy network, and I do like Monero. I think privacy is the narrative for the next bull run, and we've seen Monero do some very, very decent prices. Currently a fully diluted market cap of 2.7 billion, which is sizable, but ultimately it's a very strong narrative, and we have seen it go above $445. So I don't think it can do like the 10 or 20x that some other projects can do. But privacy, I think, is going to be a big narrative, and Monero is top of that pile. But what I would say is a project that I do like a lot is actually Secret Network, and Monero uses Secret Network. So if this is probably going to maybe do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7x, maybe a 10x at best. Secret Network, on the other hand, check out the size of Secret Network, and there are other projects, a lot of projects using Secret Network because it's end-to-end, it's full transaction encryption. So it's not a sender, it's not a receiver, it's fully encrypted all the way through. So even if that data is intercepted, it's encrypted. And that's what I like about Secret Network. It's not end-to-end, it's complete. The whole tunnel is completely encrypted. Now, this is a $105 million market cap, a fraction of Monero's, and Monero use it. It's part of the Cosmos ecosystem as well. All-time high on Secret Network was $10. It's currently sat at 64 cents. So I would do the maths, and I like Secret Network anyway. So if I was to buy Monero, I would probably buy Secret first. I think it's a better potential ROI. My personal opinion. And I've made no secret about the fact that I like Secret. And there are some good projects building on Secret using their tech. What do I think about Jasmy? Jasmy is a pump and dump that VCs use. I wouldn't touch Jasmy. Unless it was rock bottom, then I might buy something and hope that they pump it again. Hex, I don't like Hex. I am not a believer in Hex, but you look at the performance of Hex, you can't deny it's making people money. That's the problem with Hex. Well, as long as it continues to make money, you can't knock it. Its regulation might cause a problem for Hex, but at the end of the day, it is making people money, and it's been one of the best performers throughout this bear market. I mean, if we have a look at the year to date, there's not a lot of green out there, and Hex isn't in the green. Where is Hex? Let's find it. Hex. There we go. So on the year, it's down 34%. But that's not that bad. You look at other projects. Like I said, Glimmer's down 85%. Mover's down 85%. Band down 57%. Atom's down 60%. Solo's down 53%. Cadena 84%. Sweat 89%. Whereas Hex only down 34%. And then for the month, it's actually one of the best performers. And this is the problem with it. I don't like it, but you cannot knock it. And look at that on the week. In this whole bubble chart, okay, it's obviously the whole market, but this whole bubble chart, we've only got 3 that are green. 3. That's it. If I had £1,000 to spend on crypto, how would I spend it? I would just stick to my, right now, if I had to spend £1,000, it was burning a hole in my pocket, I would stick to my larger caps that I'm really bullish on for the next bull run. So for me, that means things like Moonbeam, things like Polkadot, Moonriver, ICP, Quant. What else am I missing out? Quite a few things. I would also be buying, I would probably put a fair bit of that, about 20-25% into the Arbitrum ecosystem. GMX I really like as well. MUX I really like, both in the Arbitrum ecosystem. But I would go for some smaller caps as well. Maybe put 5% into small caps in Arbitrum. Or ZK Sync, whichever takes your fancy. I bought some more Zigzag the other day when it dipped, purely because I was up on it anyway, and it dipped, so I bought some more. And it's the only DEX with a token tradable on ZK Sync right now, so that puts it in a good place. First to market is always good. Asia opens in 4 hours roughly, so thank you for that confirmation, Phil. So in about 4 hours, we will see what Asia make of the situation. But on the day, you can see we're performing pretty well. TAP now up 37% on the day. People are buying up TAP very, very strongly, which means that probably 1 cent, half a cent was probably the bottom on TAP. So I'm going to be too late to fill my bags. Knowledge is power. Welcome, buddy. Thank you for your gifts. I very, very much appreciate that support, buddy. Thank you for being here. SME are still saying Bitcoin to 10K. Bitcoin to 10K is possible. It depends how bad the bear market gets. I was saying 12K before we had this run up. So when we were at 15.6, I was saying 12K. I thought that would be the next step down. We didn't get that. We got a nice strong rise up. We've had a Black Swan event announced, and we've reacted fairly positively. We bounced off 19.7, like I pretty much hoped we would, and we're currently holding above 21. If we hold up that high, I think another Black Swan event could pull us down. 10K, I think, for me personally, is too low. And you look at this stochastic RSI, we are on the way up on the daily, which actually means on the longer time frames, we'll probably see some more recovery. But of course, we need to wait and see what the markets do, because this is all retail reaction to Friday's red candles with the bad news of SVB and Silvergate. Freestyler, welcome. Good to see you. Bitcoin will drop after the next Fed meeting. I think it possibly could. I mean, if we get strong interest rate rises, that could be bad. We've got a lot of things to get over. We've got a lot of FUD. SVB, Silvergate isn't finished with us. There's going to be a lot of stuff falling out from the woodwork. A lot of exposure to that in the crypto industry. They were the crypto-friendly bank. Rolled, welcome, buddy. I hope you're very, very well. Tough tomorrow, crash or pump. I don't know if we're going to crash, but we could see a strong dip, I think, from the market. When the market's open in Asia, that's going to be the real sign. That's going to be the real telling sign as to how the pros are going to react. The big investors, are they going to stick with crypto thinking that this might be as bad as it gets, or are they going to pull their risk? It's going to be a big question that they answer. What do I think of Veracity? I think Veracity's got potential for a run-up, but I actually don't like it. I don't hold any, and would I be buying some now when it's run up quite strongly? I mean, I don't really like it, and this is my problem. I don't personally like it. That's just my opinion. It's already had a decent run up. It's only 9% in circulating supply, which means that when you see the big runs that Veracity has seen, check the vesting schedule. If the token vesting schedule tells you that they're going to release some tokens in the near future, I'll be dumping. So, Veracity before it started its run was 0.2 cents. It got up to 1.1 cents, which means it over 5x'd. It's currently holding at around about 3x, which is still excellent. Would I expect further pullback if we have a weak market? Yes, I would. Would I expect dilution if we had more tokens released? Yes. If they release just another 5% of the circulating supply, it's going to halve the value of what you hold. I don't muck around with tokenomics. 9% circulating supply I don't like. Now, unless there's nothing vesting, I wouldn't be buying. And of course, as I said, with a 3x, with the market weakening, I might just hold off buying Veracity. Not financial advice, just my personal opinion, of course. What do I think of a Leaf Zero? It's quality, not one that I personally hold, but it's very, very popular, very strong, decent use case in its field. So, yeah, I mean, if you're into it, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. Did I see the news? Bank of London bids on SVB takeover. We do always see some cheeky early bids. So Bank of London probably trying to acquire some very cheap assets. It could be worth a corporate investment. It could be good. Nice big bag of VRA. I think I said VRA long term's definitely got potential. You look at the all-time high. It is good. A good chance of good return. But I mean, you look at the all-time high on the chart. It is 8.5 cents. You're currently at 6 cents. So would I buy it right now? That doesn't sound right. Yeah, that's right. No, it is right. Yeah, because it's less than 0.6 of a cent now. So it could run up quite strongly in the bull run. So it might be one to sit on. But it's not one, as I said, that I personally like. But if you hold a bag of it, would I sell it right now? I don't know. It depends upon the token vesting schedule more than anything else. I don't like that 9% circulating supply. That sucks ass. Cole, how are we doing, buddy? Good to see you. I hope you're very, very well. I can't wait. I can't wait for NFTs to take off again in Kronos. I really want to see the Unicron Hunters fulfill the mint out and complete the rest of the roadmap. It's going to be cool. Quality NFTs, love it. I hope you're very well, big man. I've seen you going into quite a few NFT projects still too. So you're still speculating on NFTs and other projects in this bear market, which is great to see. Your friend had 800,000 Veracity. Damn, that's a lot. That is a lot. XRP Queen has 1.3 million XRP. 1.3 million XRP. That's a lot of money. Not something I'd muck around with. I wish. Right then, folks, last couple of minutes of the live, so let's get in some last minute questions. What do you want to look at? Let's go. Let's check in with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's still holding at 21.1. It has come back down from 21.2. But, this is a retail reaction from the bad news. Isn't a bad one. The RSI is turning down on the hourly. We might see some retracement. But let's see what happens when we test this level again. If we come down as far as to test 19.7 again, we'll see what happens then. But if the market's open and it's bad, it's going to be bad. I think there'll be blood on the streets. Why is XRP falling? I have no idea. I'm not aware of any negative news, but let's have a look at XRP on the hourly. Maybe the people speculating on settlement have given up. But I mean, it's not falling terribly. It's back up above 36 cents. It's reacted badly. I mean, the XRP, I think Ripple might have exposure to SVB. There's been some speculation on that. It followed the market down with everyone else, and it's probably recovered stronger, to be fair. It got down to 34.7 cents, and it's now at 36. So it's not a bad recovery. And XRP was slightly dipping anyway, so there's going to be a lot of speculation on XRP. Because of the news around settlement or not, there's going to be a lot of speculation. Reef. Let's have a look at Reef. Is that one I've got on here? I don't think it is at the moment. No. So let's go on to here. So Reef, we've got at 0.25 cents. Market cap fully diluted, $55 million. I love seeing the fully diluted project as the best one. If you get good news, your price should almost certainly go up. So here we go. So all-time high, April 2021, which actually I don't like to see because they launched, the CMC chart starts in January 21. Their all-time high was April, May. And then they didn't have the November, December peak that you like. They did have a run, but it wasn't the strongest. I would hope to see the November run be stronger than the run before, but it wasn't. So it's generally been on a downward decline ever since. Let's have a look at the use case. Fast layer one blockchain for DeFi, NFT, and gaming, built using Substrate framework, Solidity EVM. So yeah, it's got good use case, but it just did not perform. So you would really need to have a good dive into that, find out who their partners are and what the prospects are long term. So decent use case. I do like layer ones that have got good narrative use cases. DeFi, NFT, and gaming is a very, very crowded market, but it's a good market. So we just need to see what happens there. But $55 million market cap on a layer one, not a lot of money. They asked Ripple how much money was SBV. So 48 hours ago, no reply. They're going to give the old, we're not open on the weekends line. Right then, folks, I am going to wind it up there. That was your 2-minute warning complete. I really want to thank you for coming in, joining the live with your comments and your questions. If there's more you want to talk about, please feel free to join the Discord. It's up there. The link's in the top right corner. Just click on that and go to Discord Crypto with Aaron. And you'll find us all in there. It's a great community and completely free. No paid element to that Discord at all. So you can chat away to your heart's content, find out any information you want. There's also information on prospective airdrops with ZK Sync and Arbitrum in there, and other projects like Vela Exchange, and generally anything else that makes money. So just hop in there and have a chat away, and I'll hope to see you again on the next live. Thank you very much.